be warm-up for sprint lanes. There's backstroke in this session, so lanes 1, 7 and 8 will be used as backstroke sprint lanes in 30 seconds time. And then we will use lanes 2, 3 and 4 as dive lanes. Lanes 5 and 6 will remain as continuous swimming in the competition pool. You can continue swimming in the training pool, and you also have, you can use lane 1 in the training pool as well to dive. But when the lane is clear, you can begin. We'll also open lane 6 as well for dive starts. Lane 6 for dive starts. Okay, coming up for 2 minutes remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Okay, warm-up is now complete. If we could have the athletes for the first event, please, to the marshalling area.
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inspire Luton for day 2 of the Swim England East Region Short Course Championships 2023. Very much looking forward to the action over the course of the next few hours in this morning session. We'll be opening up very shortly with the boys' 200 metre individual medley heats. And then the girls will be taken to the pool on the back of those in the 50 metre backstroke. So plenty to come today. Don't forget that all of the weekend's action will be streamed live on YouTube on the Swim England East Region channel. So make sure anyone that can't be here in Luton this weekend is watching on the live stream. And of course, it's the perfect opportunity to watch back all the great action over the course of the weekend as well, and make sure those cracking moments over the course of the championships are forever captured. You can also get in touch with us as well on social media. The X account is at SE East Region. Lots of your good luck messages already on there, and some of you congratulations as well for the long distance races we had last night here in Luton. Kudos to all those swimmers that took part last night. Some cracking swims in the pool for those that were with us on Friday evening in Luton. Some familiar faces back bright and early this morning. And of course, a warm welcome to all those joining us for the first time this weekend as well. So not too long to go until the start of the morning session. But without further ado, ladies and gents, let's please welcome our referees for today. Introducing Stuart Murray, Jane Howell, Ian Knight, and Louise Mackey. And your starter for this morning's session, Dave Harmon. Okay, ladies and gents, you can see the swimmers for the first race getting ready. They're certainly prepared for the morning session. Let's see how you're sounding this morning as well. Saying, of course, hello to everyone on the live stream. So, Luton, are you ready? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Luton, let's try that one more time. It's Saturday morning. We've got the Swim England East Region Short Course Champs. Are you ready? That's more like it. I think starting off with a low bar means we can only get better through the course of the weekend. So our first event is the boys 200 metre individual medley. This is Heat 1. So this is the first of 6 heats in the 200 metre individual medley. So that's 2 lengths, 50 metres each of the fly, the back, the breast and the free. And take it to the pool here on the far side, lane 1. From City of Cambridge is Harry Arnold Pepper. He's one of 2 para swimmers taking part in this first race. On the near side, lane 7, Corey Hare of Team Ipswich is the other, both in different categories. Harry Arnold Pepper, his classification SM9, so he has a greater degree of impairment. Corey Hare, SM14. Then in the middle lanes, in lane 2 from City of Norwich is Oliver Frame. In 3 from Dunmo Atlantis is Evan McQuaid. In 4 from Thurrock, Daniel Thompson. In 5, and just about ahead at the moment from Teve Waveney is Harrison Holmes. And City of Norwich's Oliver Pike is in lane 6, as I mentioned, Corey Hare nearest to us in 7. So they're on to the final 50. And it's Harrison Holmes who is slightly ahead here of Oliver Pike on that final turn, both kicking furiously as they come down in towards the final few metres. And this could be a really tight finish here with Oliver Pike making up some very good ground indeed. And it looks like he got the first touch as well. 2:17.61. The time for Oliver Pike, and the quickest in that heat, Harrison Holmes, 2:17.78, not far behind. Evan McQuaid touching in third on 2:21.89. Of course, once all our swimmers are complete, we'll see what the official times are on the scoreboard. But some big improvements on those entry times there at the end of Heat 1. Heat 2. So lining up in Heat 2, we have Daniel Di Filippo of Flitwick in lane 1. In 2 from Norwich Swan is Henry Mann. Louis Allen representing Chelmsford in 3. Lane 4 from City of Cambridge is Martin Molnar. Halstead's Lewis Archer is in 5. In lane 6 from Chelmsford is Rhys Burns. 7 from Braintree is Albert Orley. In lane 8 from City of Cambridge is Austin Harrop. There's always plenty of change when it comes to the breaststroke leg of the individual medley. And in lane 2, Henry Mann is the one with a slight advantage. Of course, over the course of all our heats, different age categories, meaning that these swimmers aren't all directly up against one another. They're mainly up against those in their age group to try and get in those category finals this evening. But as we saw last night in the long distance events, it's certainly worthwhile for some of our younger competitors to push themselves against some of their elders. Really does bring out the best in them. And here we're seeing 2 at the top, pushing each other all the way. Don't think they're too aware of one another, but nevertheless, they're not too far separate, with Henry Mann with the first touch on the wall. 2:16.99 again, some massive improvements on those entry times. Rhys Burns touching in 2nd. Louis Allen getting sub 2:20 as well as he touches in 3rd. Heat 3. From the top to the bottom in lane 1 from Bishop Stortford is Jake Lloyd. 2 from Chelmsford is Saxon Minto. Lane 3 from City of Norwich is Finlay Neve. Down the middle in lane 4 from City of Cambridge is James Williamson. Benjamin Taggart of Watford is in 5. City of Peterborough duo in 6 and 7, Kean Lee and Gagan Singh respectively. And in 8 from Runnymede is James McGettigan. We've already seen times dip under the 2:20 mark, and can only expect it to go down from there. It was lane 2 in the previous heat that was setting the pace, and that is the same here with Saxon Minto as well. In lane 2, the Chelmsford swimmer. Strong stuff from him in the opening 3 strokes. Can he push on this final length now? It's looking pretty good to take the fastest time in this heat. Benjamin Taggart is the one in lane 5 who is leading home the rest of the pool, who are all quite tightly bunched, as that first touch from Saxon Minto sees him boast a time of 2:15.74. Benjamin Taggart is indeed next in. Kean Lee in 3rd. This is heat 4. Just to bring you notification of a disqualification that was in Heat 2, Lane 7. Heat 2, Lane 7, DQ in that one. Well, just like a flash, Heat 4 has been, and it's almost gone with Miles Turner comfortably the quickest there, 2:08.96. Freddie Laws in second spot, and in fact that'll pretty much going to form the central 3 lanes with the fastest 3 times. Joshua Sakri in third. Moving swiftly on to Heat 5. Penultimate heat, and already a few familiar names from those battle-hardened competitors that were here last night for the long-distance events. Lane 1 here from Hatfield, we have Samuel Jeffrey. Lane 2 from City of Cambridge is Samuel Winslow. Daniel McGuinness of Basildon and Phoenix is in 3. Next to him in 4 from the City of Norwich is Olivier Vedren. Holstead's Kai Adams is in 5. In lane 6 from Team Ipswich, Oscar Winterburn. And in 7 from Norwich Swan is Lewis Andrews, with Adam Hazelwood of Putteridge in 8. Well, the pool very much spread out here. But just look at some of the movers. Lane 4, Olivier Vedren, he's making real progress going into this final 50. It's Kai Adams turning first. Just to his right-hand side over his shoulder. Olivier Vedren is really cranking up the pressure, and it's going to be a very interesting final 25 with them both turning pretty much at the same time. Momentum with Olivier Vedren of City of Norwich, and indeed, thanks to a superb second half of that race, he's the one that gets the fastest time in the heat, 2:07.76. Kai Adams duly behind him. Daniel McGuinness, the third fastest in that penultimate heat. Heat 6. Final heat then, no lane 2 in this one. Top of the pool in lane 1, the first of our SM14 para swimmers. Timon Chapman, should I say, from Norwich Swan. And then in lane 3 from St Felix is William Ellard. Lane 4 from West Norfolk is Nathan Wells. Lane 5 from City of Cambridge, Edward Ormsby. Sanjay Sessions of Colchester is in 6. 7 from West Norfolk is Joseph Wells. And in lane 8 from Watford, Rafferty May. Well, it's almost synchronised, isn't it, down the middle of the pool, lanes 4 and 5, Nathan Wells and Edward Ormsby. Looks like the latter, who's just got the better of it on this final length, and he touches in with a time of 2:07.86. In the end, a second ahead of Nathan Wells. William Ellard wasn't too far away either. You'd expect those times to be good enough for an appearance in those finals later on. So that concludes the boys' 200-metre individual medley. The last of our swimmers just leaving the pool now for those backstroke ledgers to be put in place ahead of our next event this morning. This is the girls' 50-metre backstroke, Heat 1. So in our first heat, we have Bethany Hamer in lane 2, Tia Hill in 3, Holly Hayes in 4, Maya Thompson in 5, Shad Mohammed in 6, Isabel Talbot in 7. And it is lane 6, Shad Mohammed of City of Peterborough, touching in on 31.09. Heat 2. Full complement in the pool. Plenty of noise with Lucy Culver in lane 1. In 2, Sophie O'Rourke. In 3, Natalie Taylor. Imogen Duffin in 4. Lane 5, Olivia Lydon. Isabella Savage in 6. Megan Gray 7. Sophie Roberts in lane 8. And it's the sky blue cap of Imogen Duffin from City of Cambridge, touching in first, 31.95. Followed by Megan Gray and Natalie Taylor. Heat 3. Well, this could not be much closer. Who's going to get the first touch? It's on the far side. Amy Harper, 32.06. Jasmine Coleman and Elizabeth Swiby completing the fastest 3. Heat 4. Well, this our fourth heat of 9 in the girls' 50-metre backstroke near the halfway point, and it looks like it's the orange cap in lane 3 of Basildon and Phoenix, and Ellie Barth Alp. She gets the fastest touch, 31.29. Amy Boreham and Summer Boswell, the fastest trio there. Heat 5. Lane 1, Lily Steele. Lane 2, Erin Barber. In lane 3 is Adele Zakariski. In 4, Georgina Monday. Sophie Hollis is in 5. Olivia Greenall in 6. 7, Sophie Green. And in 8 is Alexandra Nerney. Good swim from Sophie Green in lane 7, 31.05, the fastest time. Erin Barber second. Olivia Greenall touching in third fastest. Fine margins as ever across the board. Heat 6. Well, good swimming from Isabel Cameron to get sub 31. 30.56. Her time to be precise. Chloe Linney in second. Heat 7. Lane 1 is Beth Young. In lane 2, Charlotte Williams. In 3, Evangeline Pierce. Georgia Holgate's in 4. Neve James in 5. Erin Curry in 6. Katerina Demaria in 7. And Nicole Maynard in lane 8. And just like that, they're at the wall with Georgia Holgate on 29.37. The clear victor in Heat 7. Confirmed times on the scoreboard. As we move on to Heat 8. Lane 1, Rebecca Johnson. Her teammate Megan Maybanks is in 2. Lane 3, Matilda Bogle. In 4, Hannah Willis. Isabel Mather in 5. Ella Coombs in 6. Camille Vanier in 7. And in 8 is Alexa Mann. Hannah Willis first in, 29.68. Heat 9. So while that race is underway, let me just read to you our finalists for the boys 200 metre individual medley. Our top 8, Daniel McGuinness, Freddie Laws, William Ellard, Miles Turner, Nathan Wells, Kai Adams, Edward Ormsby and Olivier Vidren. And the 2 reserves are Oscar Winterburn and Joshua Sacre. So well done to those. You have 10 minutes to withdraw if you're not wanting to be a part of that final, that being the boys 200 metre individual medley. So withdrawals for that, please, by 9:25, and all the results, standings and schedules, of course, on the Swim England website. Our next event, the male 50 metre freestyle, Heat 1. So just a reminder on those finalists for the male 200 metre IM. They are Daniel McGuinness, Freddie Laws, William Ellard, Miles Turner, Nathan Wells, Kai Adams, Edward Ormsby and Olivier Vidren, with Oscar Winterburn and Joshua Sacre, the 2 reserves. So any withdrawals for that final, please, to be made by 9:25. So here we have our 3 of our para swimmers in this first heat. Oliver Shergold and Peter Winter touching in around the 31-second mark, and coming in there with a time of 43.35 is Jacob Desoy. Up next, Heat 2. Well, you can hear the thunderous crash of the water as these lads turn in towards home, and just waiting for confirmation on the fastest time there. Looked like lane 6, Danilo Kravchenko. As we move on to Heat 3. Well into the swing of things now. 15 heats in total in this event. Here we have in lane 1, Ethan Thompson, Samuel Johnson in 2, Elliot Megginson in 3, Oliver Baskerville in 4, Oliver Frame in 5, Max Walters in 6, Nedas Tkachenko in 7, and in 8 is Luke Morley. Oliver Baskerville with the fastest time. Let's crack on with heat 4. Good swimming on that far side by Archie Tabut in lane 1. Lane 5 looking good as well. Benedict measures. That is down the middle. Benedict on 25.52. Heat 5. Again, a couple of good swims on the far side. Daniel Baboye in lane 2. Also in the middle again, lanes 5 and 7. Well up amongst the conversation, but Luke Bernard in first. Just wait for all the times to be confirmed. Now time for heat 6. Again, a close one up to the wall. And again, just waiting for all of those confirmed times. Jack Swindale looking like he's up there, but it is indeed Lloyd Battison who gets the fastest time in lane 7. Heat 7. Lane 2 touching in first, Ryan Close on 25.04. Heat 8. Got the results of the female 50-metre backstroke. These are your 8 finalists. Ella Coombs, Megan Pye, Megan Maybanks, Matilda Bogle, Hannah Willis, Georgia Holgate, Vanessa Simiranova and Amara Addison. The 2 reserves are Evangeline Pierce and Charlotte Williams. Heat 9. So big well done to all those girls' names I've just read out there. You are the 50-metre backstroke finalists with the 2 reserves. Please make sure if you are not planning to swim that race, you let us know by 9:45. 9:45. "25 seconds on the dot for not 1 but 2 of our leaders from that heat. Lane 6 and 7. As we move on to heat 10. Lucas Hartley with the first touchdown in the middle there, 24.53, the winning time. This is heat number 11. Well, very even down the middle, 2 lanes. Lane 6 and 2 not far out of the equation either. Luke Flynn getting the first touch, 24.52, the fastest in heat 11. We'll move on to heat 12. Good turn being made in lane 2 by Finley Ryan of West Norfolk. He's the man to beat, and he won't be beaten. 24.17 ahead of Daniel Charder. Sebastian Newell in 3rd. Heat 13. Lane 1, Callum Davis. 2, Joshua Parker. 3, Ashley Coombs. 4, William Ellard. 5, Jacques Bonsell. In 6, Tobias Oglesby. 7, Kai Adams. Harrison Holmes. In lane 8. And lane 4, William Ellard. No mistake on 23.29. Penultimate heat, heat 14. Well, it's really starting to crank up now. Expected to see plenty of these back in the final later on. Alex Mason will be confident, 23.68 for the Potters Bar swimmer. Heat 15. Final heat. It's been breathless stuff in this event. Blinking, you'd have missed it. Maddox Roberts making that look very easy indeed. 22.55, the fastest time. Nathan Wells next in to round off that event. Back to the girls now with the 200-metre butterfly, heat 1. First heat of 3 then in the 200-metre fly. Lane 3 from Basildon and Phoenix is Chloe Bernard. Lane 4 from City of Cambridge is Georgia Holgate. 5 from City of Peterborough, Hannah Willis. And in 6 from Chelmsford, youngest in the pool, Lucy Clark. And because there are just the 3 heats in this event, and of course the final 3 heats of an event see a bit of a mix in the pool, we do see one of our fastest entries for this event in lane 4 in the form of Georgia Holgate. So you would expect it to get the quickest time in this heat, but certainly she's been pushed in the early stages by Chloe Barnard next to her from Basildon. So Georgia Holgate in lane 4. Her entry time was 2:17.43. And she makes that final turn for home. She's not been let out of the sight of Chloe Barnard next to her. Really good swim from the Basildon athlete. Let's see what those times look like. 2:22.15 for Georgia. Chloe with an improvement on her entry with a 2:22.85. Hannah Willis on 2:26.65 and Lucy Clark 2:35.48. Heat 2. Shout out, of course, to all those watching on the live stream, and do make sure
metre butterfly.
And we'll bring you the finalists now from the men's 50-metre freestyle. These are our finalists: Finley Ryan, Mason Allen, Ashley Coombs, Jacques Boncel, Tobias Oglesby, Alex Mason, William Ellard and Maddox Roberts. And the two reserves for that final, Nathan Wells and Henry Dean. So you've got until 10 o'clock to let us know this morning if you don't wish to partake in that final. Focus back on the pool, and a dominant display there in lane 4 from Sky Carter of Basildon and Phoenix, 2:20.74. Charlotte Smith touching in second, and Annie McLeod not far behind her at all. Some good times in heat 3, the final of our heats for that girls 200-metre fly. So back to the boys. This is the 200-metre butterfly, heat 1. So 5 heats in this event. Billy Kyle of Ware is in lane 3. In 4 from West Norfolk is Harvey Isle. And Jacob Bacon of City of Peterborough in lane 5. Well, the first couple of heats in particular should be pretty close. After lane 3, we see some of our fastest entries in this event. But the Kyle of Ware trying to dominate proceedings here. His entry time was the one of the slower ones, actually, 2:25.94, but certainly doesn't mean he can't swim quicker.
Good morning, this is a staff announcement. Can we have a member of the cleaning team to reception, please? Thank you.
Not going to ask any questions about that. So Billy Carr then of Ware leading the way in lane 3, and it's pretty close, as you can see, to his left-hand side between Harvey Isle and Jacob Bacon. Jacob, one of our swimmers in last night's 1500-metre event. So certainly one of those really demanding himself over the course of the weekend, throwing himself into all the strokes he can to see how much he can improve. And well, improvement for Billy Kyle with 2:24.11 the time for him. As we move on to Heat 2. Heat 2, and in lane 2, top of the pool from Putteridge is Marcus King. Lane 3 from Dunmow Atlantis is Dylan Nutt. Corey Hare from Team Ipswich is in lane 4, S14 classified swimmer. Lane 5 from Hatfield, Daniel Williams. 6 from Basildon and Phoenix is Ashton Blake. And in lane 7 on the near side from Putteridge is Harry Bird. Well, so far so good. We said the first couple of heats would be pretty close. This one certainly is at this stage of the race with 50 metres remaining. It's the orange caps of Basildon and Phoenix and Putteridge respectively that are leading proceedings here. Lane 6, Ashton Blake, and lane 2, Marcus King. Very little to separate them on that final turn for home towards the diving board end of Inspire Luton. Ashton Blake looks like he's just got enough left in the tank to see it through. 2:21.62. Marcus King a fraction under the 2:22 mark as well, so a big well done to him. Significant improvements. Up next, Heat 3. Now we start to see one or two of our favourites for the final later on. In lane 1 from West Norfolk is Daniel Grimmer. Lane 2 from Bishop Stortford, Jake Lloyd. 3 from Team Ipswich, Zach Troman. Matthew Aldred of Watford goes down the middle in 4. Next to him in 5 from Basildon and Phoenix is Daniel McGuinness. Kean Lee from City of Peterborough is in 6. Lane 7 from Hatfield is Joshua Ellis. And in 8 from Dunmow Atlantis is Evan McQuaid. And we have official confirmation of our finalists for the girls' 200-metre butterfly. And they are as follows. Well done to Hannah Willis, Annie McLeod, Charlotte Smith, Chloe Barnard, Georgia Holgate, Matilda Ransom, Sky Carter and Sadie Hunter, with Amelia Fenner and Florence Crowley, the two reserve finalists. And you've got until 10 minutes past 10 to withdraw from that final. So that's Hannah Willis, Annie McLeod, Charlotte Smith, Chloe Barnard, Georgia Holgate, Matilda Ransom, Sky Carter and Sadie Hunter. And you've got just under 20 minutes to withdraw for that final if you don't wish to swim in it later on. Matthew Aldred, 2:07.43, a time that he hopes will be enough to be back here tonight. Zach Troman and Daniel McGuinness comfortably completing the quickest trio. Heat 4. In lane 1 from Biggleswade, Daniel Meyer. In 2 from Watford, Jack Bernard. 3 from Hatfield, Jason Ho. In 4 from Team Luton, Matthew Wright, very much looking at home in the early stages. No lane 5 in this heat, but in 6 from Thurrock is Henry Dean. In 7 from Basildon and Phoenix, Isaac Ferrugia. And in 8 from Ware is Archie Ran. Matthew Wright showing real dominance in the pool. He's the second fastest entry for this event with his time of 2:03.99. That's not necessarily the best time he's ever done, but it was enough to get him here at this event, and it is a time that he's not going to be too far away from. Let's see when he'll stop the clock. 2:06.83 is the answer. Henry Dean following suit not too far behind on 2:09.2. Jason Ho with the next touch. 2:13.98. Heat 5. In lane 1 from City of Norwich is Luca Gunnawadena. In 2 from Watford is Kayleen Mashanu. In 3 from Flitwick, Harrison Shaw. James Woodward of Hatfield is in lane 4. In 5 from West Suffolk is Jake Thomas Mansfield. Lane 6 from Colchester, Sanjis Sessions. In 7 from Team Ipswich, Daniel Clayton. And in lane 8 from St. Felix is Jude Gunner. James Woodward then down the middle, the only swimmer on the entry times to get under 2 minutes. 1:56.91 was what he came to Luton with this weekend. He looks set for a spot in the final, but who will be joining him? To his left-hand side is Harrison Shaw, and purring to his right, Jake Thomas Mansfield. James Woodward then touching in on 2:06.81. 2:09.83 from Harrison Shaw. That's Jake Thomas Mansfield then coming in shortly behind in third fastest spot. In that final heat there for the men's 200-metre butterfly. Back to the girls and the 100-metre breaststroke, heat 1. So we have 4 para swimmers in this event, 3 of them in the first heat here, and the 3 of them in different classifications as well. So in lane 3 from Runnymede is Charlotte Ryan, an SB5 swimmer. Lane 4 from Norwich Swan, SB8 swimmer. That's Mwaba Makwasa. And in lane 5 from Norfolk Vikings, SB9 Lily Herring. So all of our para swimmers here this weekend, of course, we'll be looking to record the fastest time possible, and then that time will be used to work out the multi-classification points. So the time will be compared with the best of that classification, and the closer you get to the record, the closer to 1,000 points you'll achieve. So in lane 4, it's Mwaba Makwasa in the SB8 category. He's coming in towards the wall. 1:47.39 is the time that she boasts there. As she looks up to the scoreboard, big improvement for Lily Herring as well on her entry time. She came here to Luton with a time of 1:56.82. Well, she's took nearly 4 whole seconds off of that, so a big well done to her. And of course, that'll feed into the multi-class points. That'll be worked out by the calculator pretty much immediately. Still got Louise Fidz to come later on in this event, in which there are a total of 8 heats. But coming towards the back end of her swim now is Charlotte Ryan of Runnymede. 2:55.02 was her entry time. Let's cheer her on then, Luton, because she's very close to beating that entry time. How close can she get? Not far away at all. 2:56.42. Heat 2. Just being handed the finalists for the men's 200-metre butterfly. Well, we've got 7 that are definitely in that final, and it looks like we may have a tie for the final spot. Come on to that in a moment. But the top 7, Zach Troman, Jake Thomas Mansfield, Harrison Shaw, Henry Dean, Matthew Aldred, Matthew Wright and James Woodward. And then we have a tie for that final spot between Daniel McGuinness and Jason Ho. So you know what that might mean. And Jack Bernard will be one of the reserves for that final. Withdrawals for that, 10:25. Please let us know in the next 20 minutes if you're one of those swimmers that doesn't want to be in the final. Back to the pool, heat 3. Lane 1 from City of St Albans is Judy Robertshek-Smith. 2 from Colchester, Sadie Rowe. Tia Hill from City of Ely is in 3. In 4 from West Suffolk is Kira Broad. Holly Larby of Biggleswade in 5. In 6 from Colchester is Molly Grieve. Witham Dolphins is Amelia Murphy is in lane 7, with Amola Joshua Putteridge in 8. Looking at lane 5, and it's looking pretty good for Holly Larby 1:16.66 is her time. Heat 4. Well, very close finish to the wall. Shad Mohammed touching in just a fraction ahead of Phoebe Howard. Heat 5. So in lane 1 from Bishop Stortford is Neve James. 2 from West Suffolk is Elizabeth Wright. Anna Lucia Fenner of Basildon and Phoenix is in 3. Isabella Porcio of Putteridge is in 4. Charlize Harding from Norwich Swan is in 5 alongside teammate Caitlin Richardson. Lane 7 from City of St Albans is Georgina Hamilton. And Louise Fiddies of Hatfield is in 8. Strong swim in lane 5 from Charlize Harding. Youngest in the pool, but the quickest across it in that heat. Here's heat 6. Another full complement in the pool. In lane 1 from St Ives is Chloe Butler. 2 from Norwich Swan is Daisy Mixer. 3 is West Norfolk's Molly Lee. Lane 4 representing Team Ipswich, Beth Young. In 5 from City of Cambridge, Matilda Ransom. In 6 from Basildon and Phoenix is Mia Lowe. Ella Duffield of Team Ipswich is in 7, and in 8 another Basildon and Phoenix swimmer in the form of Lexi O'Connor. Well, the blue and white spotty hat of Beth Young in lane 4 is the first to bob up towards the wall. 1:13.15 the winning time. Heat 7. In lane 1 from City of Cambridge is Yang Ting Emily Pack. In 2 from City of Peterborough, Isabel Cameron. Lane 3 from West Norfolk, Sarah O'Brien. In 4 from Hatfield is Caitlin Hartley. 5 from Putteridge, Sophie Payne. In 6 representing City of Peterborough is Lily Davis. Lane 7 from Bishop Stortford, Lauren Gore. And in lane 8 from City of Norwich, Ellie Smith. Another close one up towards the wall. I expect a couple of these to be back in the final later on. Sarah O'Brien with the first touch, 1:12.21. Heat 8. Final heat of the girls' 100-metre breaststroke. In lane 1 from Hatfield is Megan Gray. 2 from Bishop Stortford, Ella Greatbatch. 3 from Norwich Swan, Katie Andrews. Lane 4 from Hatfield, Ashley Ransom. Jasmine Carter of Basildon and Phoenix in 5. City of Cambridge's Rebecca Keatley in 6. And then the City of Norwich duo completing the pool in 7 and 8. Ellen and Ellie. Ellen Eccleston and Ellie Rose Lyon. And there she goes, Jasmine Carter. Impressive performance. 1:10.88, winning that final heat. It's the male 100-meter breaststroke, heat number 1. Three more of our para swimmers in heat 1 here. SB8 swimmer Harry Arnold Pepper from City of Cambridge is in lane 1. Lane 2 from City of Peterborough is Kean Lee. Samuel Everett of West Suffolk is in lane 3. In 4 from Harlow Penguins is Ethan May. Kieran NG of City of Peterborough in 5. Harvey Durham of City of Norwich is in 6. And he's going to get the first touch as well. 1:11.24. Lane 7, Corey Hare of Team Ipswich. He's an SB14 swimmer, touching in on 1:26.1. And 1:23.88 there for Harry on the far side. And Peter Winter, SB9 swimmer from Newmarket, coming in now on the near side. He's going to touch in at 1:38.92. Confirmation of those times on the scoreboard. Heat 2. Lane 1 from City of Norwich is Lazarus Gielenis. In 2 from Linslade, Maximus Atkin. In 3 from Dunmow, Harrison Cox. Max Thomas of Flitwick in 4. Lane 5 from Harlow, George Jones. 6 from Runnymede, Jack Reed. Sean Diggins of Great Yarmouth in 7. And from St Neot is Joshua Needham. Well, great swim from the outside from Lazaros Gielenis. This is heat 3. In lane 1, the first have a trio of Norwich Swan swimmers. Finlay Arnup with Austin Everett in lane 2 and Henry Mann in lane 3. In lane 4 from Watford, Geoffrey Gill. In 5 from Stowmarket is Thomas Spellman. 6 from Witham Dolphins, Jack Webb. 7 from Hoddesdon, Samuel Howard. And in 8 from Tring is Oliver Solomon. Well, that was close, wasn't it, there, between Henry Mann and his teammate Austin Everett. Henry Mann with the fastest time, though. Heat 4. Lane 1 from Watford is Chun Ho Chan. And 2 from Runnymede, James McGettigan. In 3 from City of Norwich, Tyler Stone. In 4, representing Hatfield, Samuel Jeffrey. In 5 from City of Norwich is Finlay Neve. 6 from City of Cambridge, Austin Harrop. Simon Piasecki of Witham Dolphins is in 7. And in 8 from Potters Bar, Alexander Ball. James McGettigan in lane 2. Very much in control, it seemed there. We'll have to wait for his official time. Samuel Jeffrey next in. Heat 5. Have our finalists for the female 100-metre breaststroke. So these girls in the final: Ella Greatbatch, Beth Young, Rebecca Keatley, Lily Davis, Isabel Cameron, Sarah O'Brien, Ashley Ransom and Jasmine Carter. And the 2 reserves, Ellen Eccleston and Sophie Payne. Please withdraw from that final at 10:45. And a big well done to our top 3 para-swimmers. They are Lily Herring, Mwaba Makwasa and Louise Fiddies. Do collect your well-earned medals for the 100-metre breaststroke. Thank you. Heat 6. Lane 1 from Hatfield is Lucas Hartley. Lane 2 from Harpenden, Cub Madison. Adam Hazelwood goes in lane 3. He's from Putteridge. In 4 from Hatfield, Luke Payne. 5 from Norwich Swan, James Noble. In lane 6 from Hitchin, George Lovelock. Lane 7 from Colchester is Antonio Girolami. And Jake Moore from Potter's Bar is in lane 8. Lane 5 doing the business there. James Noble, 107.4, the best time in that heat. Cub Madison second, Lucas Hartley third. This is heat 7. Lane 1 from City of Cambridge is Samuel Winslow. William Pressland of Bushy is in 2. In 3 from Linslade, Sam Mead. Lane 4 from Thurrock is Daniel Baboy. 5 from Chelmsford, Joseph Burns. Matthew McLaughlin of Dunmow is in 6, with Charlie McKinnon of St Felix in 7, and Louis James of City of Norwich in 8. And Louis James up towards the front. William Pressland got the first touch low, 108.45. Up next, heat 8. Into the final 3 heats of this event, and in lane 1 here we have from Watford Benjamin Taggart, 2 from Hoddesdon Jack Renouf, no lane 3, lane 4 from West Norfolk Freddie Laws, Edward Ormsby of City of Cambridge in 5, in 6 from Biggleswade Austin Lillywhite, Josh Martin of City of Peterborough in 7, and Judah Subba of City of St Albans is in lane 8. Fastest 2 are the middle 2. Freddie Laws first in, 103.94 ahead of Edward Ormsby. Let's move on to heat 9. Lane 1 from Runnymede, Lewis Marston. In 2 from Stowmarket, Lewis Chapman. In 3 from West Norfolk, Finley Ryan. 4 from City of Norwich, Olivier Vedrena. In 5 from Chelmsford, Saxon Minto. Darrell Rands of Colchester in 6. Oliver Blight of Hatfield in 7. And representing Halstead in lane 8 is Samuel Johnson. Let's go with Heat 10. Lane 1 from Chelmsford is Rhys Burns. In 2 from City of Peterborough is Joshua Sackery. Lewis Andrews of Norwich Swan is in 3. In 4 from Putteridge is Lawrence Palmer. No lane 5, but in 6 from Watford is Luke Flynn. Daniel Hollis of City of St Albans in 7. And in lane 8 from Witham Dolphins is Maddox Roberts. Lawrence Palmer will be just outside the 1 minute bracket, but he's got a time of 1:02.92, so we should be seeing him again later. Lewis Andrews in 2nd, Rhys Burns 3rd fastest on that far lane. It's the female 100-metre individual medley, Heat 1. Well, this should be a thoroughly exciting event with 7 heats in total. Final time we'll see the girls in the morning session, and after this we'll be rounding things off with the boys 400 free. Of course, got the relay to come as well. Action-packed day, 3 sessions in total on this Saturday in Luton, day 2 of the Swim England East Region Short Course Championships 2023. Up next, Heat 2. Lining up in this second heat, we have Norwich Swans Ruby Chapman in lane 1. In 2 from Team Ipswich, Chloe Armstrong. Sophie Hollis of City of St Albans is in 3. We've got 3 City of Cambridge swimmers in 4, 5 and 6. Anouk Zacchini, Yanting, Emily Pack and Isabel Mather. With Adria Radinite of Newmarket in 7. Good swim in lane 7 from Adria as well, keeping close tabs so far on the middle 2, who are very close together indeed. Anouk Zacchini and Yanting Emily Pack, the 2 City Cambridge swimmers in the sky blue caps. In they come towards the wall, just a couple of hundredths of a second separating them. Heat 3. Lane 1 from West Norfolk is Molly Lee. 2 from City of Peterborough is Shahad Mohammed. In 3 from Putteridge, Isabella Porcio, Caitlin Hartley and Katie Jeffrey. Teammates from Hatfield go in 4 and 5 respectively. Lane 6 from Bishop Stortford is Lauren Gore. In 7 from West Suffolk is Elizabeth Wright, and Verity Fuge of City of St Albans is in lane 8. Well, then they come towards the wall. Clear victory for Shahad Mohammed in that heat, 107.52, the fastest time. Heat 4. And we have our men's finalists for the 100-metre breaststroke. Again, looks like a tie in 8th place, so the fastest 7 at least. Lewis Marston, Saxon Minto, Finley Ryan, Edward Ormsby, Freddie Laws, Lawrence Palmer and Olivier Vedren. And the tie for 8th is between Darryl Rand and Lewis Andrews, so looks like we might have to find a way of separating those two. James Noble is on the reserve list. Again, withdrawals for that one, 20 minutes you've got, so please let us know by 11 a.m. if you're not willing to take part in that final later on. And a big well done to our para medalists as well. Our top 3, Corey Hare, Harry Arnold Pepper and Timon Chapman. Heat 5. Lane 1 from St Felix, Grace Robinson. In 2 from Watford, Amy Boreham. 3 from Team Ipswich, Abigail Crawley. In 4 from Basildon and Phoenix is Sky Carter. Lane 5 from City of Peterborough is Hannah Willis. In 6 from City of Norwich is Ruby Greenhalgh. 7 from City of Cambridge, Rebecca Keatley. And in 8 from Basildon and Phoenix, Let's See O'Connor. DQ in lane 1 in that heat. Moving on to heat 6. Just to let you know, there will be a swim-off at the end of the 400-metre freestyle event. So before the relays, it's a swim-off for a place at the 100-metre breaststroke, the men's 100-metre breaststroke for 8th place. And that swim-off will be between Darrell Rands of Colchester and Lewis Andrews of Norwich Swan. So that coming up at the end of this session. So just to mark your card, we'll have one more heat of this event, then we'll have the boys up in the 400-metre free. There'll be a timed final in that final heat, then we'll have a swim-off for one of our finals later on. Heat 7. Lane 1 from Norwich Swan is Daisy Mixer. Lane 2 from City of Norwich is Georgina Munday. 3 from City of Peterborough, Isabel Cameron. In 4 from Hatfield, Charlotte Williams. In 5, representing Team Ipswich is Beth Young. Jasmine Carter of Basildon and Phoenix in the pool in lane 6. In 7 from City of Norwich, Megan Pye. And Sophie Payne of Putteridge in 8. Well, another close one towards the front. Charlotte Williams takes that final heat.
Good morning, this is a public announcement. Can we have the owner of the following number YT58UAU? Thank you.
This is the boys' 400 metre freestyle, Heat 1. So there are 3 para swimmers in this event, and they're all taking part in this first heat. There are 5 heats in total in this event. The 5th heat being a timed final, but of course it's the fastest 3 overall. That will claim a place on the podium at the end of this. And our 3 para swimmers all battling to get the best possible time they can in respective of their classification. That will mean they get the higher points total, and they would hope a spot high on the podium as well. Just to bring you confirmation of that DQ that we had in the previous event, the female 100 metre individual medley concerning Heat 5, Lane 1. That's a DQ for Heat 5, Lane 1. That DQ for a technical infraction. As we look out to the pool here, quickly run you through lanes 2 and 6 first, where we have Adam O'Neill of Modernian, Thomas Spellman of Stowmarket, Massimo Girolami of Colchester, George Lovelock from Hitchin, and in lane 6 from City of Norwich, Jack Abram. Then we have 2 S14 swimmers in the pool, which, based on their entries, and them having the lowest level of impairment, you'd expect them to be up amongst it as well. So that's Corey Hare in lane 1 from Team Ipswich, and Rio Rogers of Basildon and Phoenix in lane 7. So all of those entry times either just below or just above the 4:30 mark. And then in lane 8 from Runnymede, S8 swimmer Jacob Desoy. So he's got the greatest physical impairment in this event, and the entry time for him coming into this was 7 minutes 17.9. So he'll be looking to shave a few seconds off that if he can over the course of this 400 free. So Jack Abram, the fastest to touch in there in that heat. His time 4:19.73. And it was Rio Rogers just next to him, second in to touch 4:28.84. So both of those with big improvements on their entry time. It's quite a convincing performance that from Jack Abram. And the fastest trio completed by Thomas Spellman as well. 4:31.82 was his time. So 4 heats to come on the back of that. And Jacob Desoy still going in lane 8 from Runnymede. As I mentioned, his entry 7:17.9. S8 classified swimmer. So he does have the greatest physical impairment in this event. And of course, it's the longest distance that our para-athletes are swimming this weekend as well. So a real tough event for all of them. Jacob Desoy will be keeping an eye on the clock to get as close as he can to 7:17.9. And of course, for all three of our para swimmers in this race, chance to finish top of the podium based on the multi-classification point system. So that's all down to how quick you can go in respective to your own classification. So Jacob Desoy getting that one last push towards the wall then. And it looks like a big improvement on the entry. 7:09.76 for Jacob Desoy. Heat 2.
Good morning. This is the second request for announcement for the car registration number YT58UAU. If that vehicle belongs to you, can you please come to reception immediately? Thank you.
Lane 1 from Basildon and Phoenix is Oliver Smith. Lane 2 is teammate Robert Fenner. Going in 3 from Thurrock, Daniel Thompson. Lane 4, Bishop Stortford's Brandon McDonald-Williams. In 5 from Basildon is Connor Mint. Evan McQuaid of Dunmo Atlantis in 6. Lane 7 from Holstead is Lewis Archer. And Ethan Thompson of Team Ipswich in lane 8. Into the final 100 metres and leading the way, Evan McQuaid in lane 6. Robert Fenner not far behind. Well, the fastest two into the wall. Half a second splitting them. Evan McQuaid touching in first. Fastest with 4:19.79. Robert Fenner. And then Brandon McDonald-Williams, the fastest 3. Heat 3. Lane 3, or should I say Heat 3, lane 1 from Watford is Luke Martell. In 2 from Modernian is Cameron Jones. In 3 from City of St Albans, Hugo Rabicek-Smith. Nathan Birkenhoff of St Felix is in 4. In 5 from Biggleswade, Daniel Meyer. Harrison Shaw representing Flitwick goes in 6. In 7 from Norwich Swan, Oscar Hunter. And in 8 from Bishop Stortford, Jake Lloyd.
So this is a message from the promoter. I do need to reiterate that message about the car. YT58 WNU. There is an issue with it, so please you can make your way down to see me, please. And in the timing suite, so we do need the owner of YT58 WNU to come down to the timing suite immediately, please.
Oh, very good performance from Harrison Shaw, touching in on 4:12.76. Big personal achievement for the Flitwick swimmer. Daniel Meyer getting the second fastest time. Oscar Hunter in 3rd. Heat 4. Lane 1 here from City of St Albans is George Hooper. In 2 from Team Waveney is Lloyd Battison. Daniel Clayton of Team Ipswich in lane 3. In 4 from City of Cambridge, Matthew Money. Sanjay Sessins of Colchester is in 5. Thomas Ford of Basildon and Phoenix in 6. Cian Lee is in 7. He's from City of Peterborough. In lane 8 from Basildon and Phoenix is Isaac Ferrugia. A reminder, of course, that the race after this will be the time final. So our 8 fastest on paper will lock horns in that 5th and final heat. And then after that, to round off this morning's session, on day 2 here in Luton, we will have a swim-off between Daniel Rand and Lewis Andrews for a place in the 100-metre breaststroke final. $250 metres down, 150 to go. Matthew Money in lane 4, leading proceedings here. Got a good rhythm through the water. Looking in command. George Hooper on the far side in lane 1 is currently his nearest competition. Thomas Ford in lane 6. Very close to Cian Lee, isn't he, in 7. Well, here he comes, Matthew Money, 4:11.97. If that was his entry time, he may have done enough to get in the time final there. Good swim. George Hooper in 2nd, Thomas Ford and Cian Lee with very little separating those two all the way through that heat. They finished 3rd and 4th, respectively. Next up, it's the men's 400-metre freestyle timed final. In lane 1 from City of Peterborough, Orlando Deering. Lane 2 from Basildon and Phoenix, Daniel McGuinness. Lane 3 from Hatfield, Daniel Belsey. In lane 4 from West Suffolk, Matthew Baker. In lane 5 from Hitchin, Daniel English. In lane 6 from City of Cambridge, Ryan Wall. In lane 7 from Team Ipswich, Patch Robinson. And in lane 8 from City of Peterborough, Jack Swindale. This is the men's 400-metre freestyle timed final. And as the time final gets underway, we have our finalists for the girls' 100-metre IM. They are Sarah O'Brien, Olivia Minnett, Isabel Cameron, Megan Pye, Hannah Willis, Charlotte Williams, Grace Greenhalgh and Sky Carter. Well done to those. And the two reserves for the final are Shad Mohammed and Clementine Lovell. So the 8 finalists: Sky Carter, Grace Greenhalgh, Charlotte Williams, Hannah Willis, Megan Pye, Isabel Cameron, Olivia Minette and Sarah O'Brien. So the withdrawals for that one, you've not got long, couple of minutes really on that if you're not wanting to be in that race. Let's focus on the pool. These 8, the best 8 based on their entry time coming into this event. Fastest of them, quite emphatically, Matthew Baker in lane 4, 3:54.6 was his entry time, but as you can see, he's in a tussle right now with Daniel English down the middle, lane 5 from Hitchin. His time was just a fraction over 4 minutes, but at the halfway point, both of them on course for sub 4 minute times. We'll see how that progresses. Matthew Baker starting to stretch out a bit of a lead here in this time final. He's always going to be the man to beat. But he's looking very much in control, very smooth rhythm through the water. Very thorough and true as he pulls his arms through. And he's making good progress. Behind him, Daniel English starting to kick pretty furiously, also on the far side as well. Orlando Deering keeping himself in the equation. A lot of these swimmers were here last night in the long distance events. They've already swam quite a bit in heat action this morning. But what a performance from Matthew Baker. 3:59.44, winning that at a canter. Daniel English second fastest, 4:04.26, and Orlando Deering wide on the far side. We're going to wait for confirmation, but it looks like with 4:08.1, he may have done enough to just get the better of Daniel Belsey. Okay, still got one race to come then. Very shortly, ladies and gents. For a place in the male 100-metre breaststroke final, this is the swim-off. In lane 4 from Colchester, Darrell Rands. And in lane 5 from Norwich Swan, Lewis Andrews. This is the swim-off. So these two could not be split during the heats earlier on this morning. Both ended with a time of 107.07, but of course only one of them can make the final later on in the male 100-metre breaststroke final. So it's Lewis Andrews of Norwich Swan slightly leading the way at that turn on halfway, but it was a good turn made by Darrell Rands, who is looking keen on this second half of the race. And he's got the fraction of the better. Can Lewis Andrews bring this back around, or is it just a step too far? Darrell Rands getting out of reach now, leading by best part of a length coming up to the wall, and 106.05 is his time. He takes a second off of his heat time, and that will be enough for him to be in the final later on. Lewis Andrews not far away at all in the end, but just a swim too far, but a cracking swim off between the two of them. Which rounds off session 2 here at the Swim England East Region Short Course Championships 2023. Big thank you as ever to all those in the spectator gallery and those watching on the live stream as well. We'll see you this afternoon, where the warm-up will begin at midday and the session starts at 12:45. A big thank you to our officials as well, who may now leave the poolside, and we'll be back to do it all over again in just over an hour. Have a good lunch break.
So we just have one final thing to do this session, and that's to present the medals for the Open Male 400-metre freestyle. So to that end, could I request Matthew Baker, Daniel English and Orlando Deering to make their way to the presentation area at 25 metres on the other side of the pool, so that we can do the presentations as quickly as possible. The reminder doing this that